The sky above Earth was calm just minutes before everything changed. People were walking through busy streets, children were laughing in parks, and workers were stuck in traffic, checking the time on their devices. There was no warning, no strange signs, no alerts. Then at exactly 12:04 p.m., everything turned red. Without any sound, the clouds above major cities turned into fire. Bright beams of energy shot down from the sky, melting buildings, cars, and people in seconds. It wasn't lightning. It wasn't natural. It was an attack. In New York, skyscrapers fell like dominoes. In Tokyo, the ground shook as silent black ships hovered above, dropping glowing metal soldiers. In London, Big Ben exploded into pieces as a massive shadow covered the city. One by one, the great cities of Earth were crushed under something unknown, something powerful, something not from this world. Airplanes vanished from radar. Communications went dead. Military bases were vaporized before they could respond. Satellites in orbit were shot down within seconds. The aliens didn't ask questions. They didn't give demands. They didn't even speak. They came with fire. And fire was all they gave. Across the world, screams filled the air. Mothers grabbed their children and ran. Soldiers fired useless bullets at machines that didn't bleed. Emergency broadcasts played only static. Everything humans had built, every structure, every system, every defense, none of it mattered now. And still, the attackers said nothing. In a dark control room deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, a woman named Commander Evelyn Ray stood in front of a giant screen. Her face was lit by dozens of blinking red alerts. Her voice was calm, but her eyes showed something else. Anger. "Protocol Black," she said. Everyone in the room froze. "Are you sure?" one officer asked. She didn't look at him. Her voice didn't change. "They didn't knock. We don't ask." He nodded. "Yes, ma'am." Far beneath the ice in Antarctica, a steel door began to open. It hadn't moved in 50 years. Inside that frozen vault, machines that had never seen daylight began to wake up. Giant cables glowed blue. War drones the size of buses came online. Satellites, long hidden behind the moon, activated and aimed their weapons at the stars. Earth had been preparing. The world's governments didn't like to admit it, but after 100 years of science fiction and strange signals from space, someone had decided to prepare for the worst. In secret, away from the public eye, humanity built something terrible. It was called Project Hellstorm, and it was about to be unleashed. While cities burned and people ran, a strange hum filled the sky. The alien ships were scanning Earth's surface, checking for resistance, but they had missed something. Something sleeping just beneath their sensors. In orbit, behind the curve of the moon, a large satellite changed direction. It unfolded, piece by piece, turning into a long silver cannon that made no sound. It charged silently, powered by the Earth's magnetic field. When it fired, it was not seen. Only the result was. One of the alien capital ships floating above Paris simply vanished. No explosion, no flash, just gone, erased. The aliens paused. For the first time since their arrival, they stopped firing. Some hovered, some moved. Others sent signals between each other. Earth had responded, and it wasn't with words. In a command room under the Arctic, a man in an old military uniform watched the data coming in. General Marcus Hale, a war veteran long thought dead, smiled bitterly. "They didn't expect us to punch back," he muttered. "Let's show them what humans do when you kill our people." Across the world, old defense systems activated. Laser, batteries hidden in mountaintops fired into the sky. Drones launched from underground silos. AI units began calculating weak points, and one by one the alien ships started falling. Not all, not yet, but enough. Enough for hope to return. In a dark alley in Madrid, a firefighter named Luis pulled a child from the rubble just before a piece of steel fell beside him. Above, he saw two alien drones turn toward him. He held the child tight, expecting death. Then a flash of blue light cut the sky. The drones exploded, spinning into flames. A strange machine hovered above them, a human drone, sleek and silent, marked with the Earth Defense Force logo. It blinked once, then moved on. Luis looked at the child, and for the first time since it began, he smiled. We're fighting back. But the war had only just begun. Deep in the oceans, something large began to move. Submarines that had never been on record surfaced, launching pods into the air. Those pods turned into fighter jets faster than anything the world had seen before. Above Earth, the blackness of space lit up with small flashes. The alien fleet, realizing they had made a mistake, began to reorganize. More ships arrived through. Portals, larger and deadlier. They weren't going to run. Not yet. In a briefing room inside the Arctic vault, Commander Ray stood beside a 3D model of the alien fleet. It showed hundreds of ships, some larger than cities. We only woke one weapon, she said. It's time to wake the others. General Hale nodded. The galaxy doesn't know us yet. Let's introduce ourselves properly. In the next 30 minutes, Earth's secret weapons began to launch. Not just missiles, but orbital shock, cannons, gravity disruptors, sonic railguns, each one aimed at the sky, each one deadly. The battle was no longer one-sided. In the skies above Cairo, alien transports tried to retreat, but Earth's drones followed them, disabling engines and slicing through their armor. In New Delhi, a platoon of surviving soldiers captured an alien walker and turned it against the enemy. In Los Angeles, a teenager hacked a fallen drone and used it to broadcast a warning in 20 languages. Fight back. Earth is fighting. The message spread. Humans, scattered and terrified, began to resist. Some with old weapons, some with bare hands, some with tools and fire. But they resisted, and something changed. The aliens were not machines. They were alive. They bled. They feared. And now, for the first time, they were being hunted. But even as Earth pushed back, a darker secret was unfolding. In a lab near the Arctic, a computer program had found something hidden in the alien data. A transmission. Not in a known language, but in math. It wasn't a call for help. It was a warning. The aliens were just the beginning. They were not alone. They were scouts, tools of something greater, something still coming. Commander Ray stared at the data, her hands shaking slightly. This wasn't a war, she whispered. This was just a test. In the cold of deep space, a new light appeared. Far away, beyond Pluto, a rift. It was opening. Back on Earth, people cheered as another alien ship fell. But those in command did not smile. They knew what the people did not. This was only part 1, and part 2 would be worse. The night after, the sky burned. The world seemed quieter, but under the silence, something powerful was awakening. While many believed the battle was lost, deep beneath the frozen lands, a hidden force was gathering strength. Earth was not helpless. It had waited for this moment for a very long time. In the cold darkness of Antarctica, massive machines started to hum softly. These machines had been kept secret from the world, locked away in a vault buried under miles of ice. Scientists, engineers, and soldiers worked side by side, their faces full of focus and hope. They did not speak loudly. They only moved with purpose. Outside, the alien ships continued their search, unaware that Earth's most hidden defenses were coming online. These were not ordinary weapons. They were the results of decades of planning, years of testing, and endless work by people who believed humanity would one day need to fight back. A giant ship, older than anyone alive, rose slowly from beneath the ice. Its metal surface gleamed despite the cold, reflecting the dim light of the distant stars. This was a warship from a forgotten age, a symbol of human strength and ingenuity. It was called the Hellstorm. The ship had no pilot. It was controlled by an advanced intelligence designed to protect Earth at any cost. Commanders in distant control rooms tracked every movement of the alien fleet. They watched as the enemy ships shifted position, trying to find weak spots in Earth's defenses. But the hellstorm was already moving. It slipped through the darkness, silent and unseen, waiting for the right moment. Meanwhile, on the surface, people were still struggling to survive. Cities lay in ruins, but resistance groups were forming. They shared stories of hope and survival, of small victories that kept their spirits alive. They were ordinary people, teachers, farmers, doctors. But now they were part of something greater. They were fighters. A young woman named Mira led one such group in a broken city. She had lost her family, but she had not lost her will. Every day she gathered food and supplies for those hiding in the underground tunnels. Every night she listened for sounds from above, hoping to hear signs of Earth's secret weapons waking up. One evening, as she returned to her shelter, a distant light flashed across the sky. It was different from the alien weapons, a calm, steady beam that moved slowly. She stopped, eyes wide, feeling a strange mix of fear and hope. Far away, in the depths of space, the hellstorm fired its first shot. The beam traveled faster than light, invisible to the naked eye, and struck one of the alien ships. Instead of exploding, the ship simply disappeared. No smoke, no fire, just gone. Back on Earth, the news spread quickly. For the first time since the attack began, people felt something they hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. In secret war rooms, commanders smiled quietly. They knew this was only the beginning. The hellstorm was not alone. Other hidden ships and weapons would soon join the fight. Earth's plan was simple: show the invaders that this world was not easy to conquer. As the alien fleet grew restless, strange signals began to appear in the data streams. At first, no one understood them. Then a young scientist named Aaron realized these signals were patterns, messages hidden inside the noise. They were not messages of peace. They were warnings that more enemies were coming, enemies unlike anything Earth had faced before. The commanders didn't panic. Instead, they prepared. More ships emerged from the ice. More machines came alive. Humans everywhere began to unite, sharing resources and knowledge. Old rivalries were forgotten as everyone focused on one goal: survival. The hellstorm moved through space like a ghost, striking with precision and disappearing before the aliens could react. Resistance groups on the ground grew stronger, inspired by the knowledge that Earth was fighting back. Mira stood outside her shelter, watching the sky. The fire that once brought destruction was now met with light. The world was changing, and deep beneath the surface, the real battle was only just beginning. The stars seemed to hold their breath as Earth's hidden forces stirred beneath the endless night. Above the clouds, the alien fleet continued their watch, searching for any sign of weakness, unaware that their greatest challenge was already in motion. The battle was no longer just about survival. It was about discovery. In the heart of a remote mountain range, a group of scientists and engineers gathered around a glowing table, studying a strange device recovered from a fallen alien ship. Its shape was unlike anything they had seen, smooth and dark, humming with quiet energy. It pulsed softly, almost like it was alive. Dr. Anya Patel, the lead researcher, reached out and touched the device. A wave of images and sounds filled her mind: distant stars, unknown worlds, and a voice, not spoken, but felt. It spoke of a past long forgotten, of ancient travelers who once walked the same paths humans now walked. This discovery was more than technology. It was a message. Meanwhile, on Earth's surface, the people felt a shift in the air. The fear that had ruled their days began to fade, replaced by a growing sense of purpose. Communities rebuilt, sharing stories of resilience and courage. Children played again, their laughter a quiet rebellion against the darkness. In one such village, a boy named Leo found a strange piece of metal buried beneath the rubble. It was smooth and warm, unlike anything from Earth. When he held it, the metal seemed to respond, glowing faintly in his hand. That night, under a sky full of stars, Leo dreamed. In his dream, the metal spoke to him, guiding him toward a distant mountain where a hidden secret waited. Back in space, the alien fleet was restless. Their ships moved in patterns that suggested confusion and concern. The unseen force behind, Earth's resistance, was changing the battle. Commander Evelyn Ray, now overseeing the global defense effort, watched the screens with sharp eyes. "They don't understand what they are facing," she said softly. "We are not just fighting to survive, we are unlocking something greater." Across the world, messages flowed between resistance groups. Strange symbols appeared, matching the patterns Dr. Patel had seen. People began to recognize them, feeling a connection to something beyond their planet. The Hellstorm and its sister ships moved closer to the alien fleet, not to destroy, but to communicate. Earth's leaders hoped to find a way to end the conflict before it escalated further. In a small control room beneath a city, Mira watched the data with growing hope. "This is bigger than us," she said. "It's a chance to change everything." The alien fleet, sensing the shift, sent out signals of their own. These signals were different. Not threats, but questions. The night air was filled with tension and possibility. As the first rays of dawn broke across the horizon, Earth waited, not just for battle, but for understanding. Because in the quiet, between the stars, a new story was beginning, one of hope, mystery, and the power of connection. The days that followed were filled with a strange energy, as if the world itself was holding its breath. People everywhere looked to the skies, wondering what the next move would be. The alien fleet, once a source of fear and destruction, now seemed hesitant, unsure how to respond to Earth's unexpected strength. In a hidden base deep underground, the leaders of Earth's defense gathered to discuss the latest developments. Commander Evelyn Ray stood before the group, her voice calm but filled with determination. "We've seen their signals change," she said. "They are no longer just attacking, they want to communicate. We have to be ready." Scientists worked tirelessly to decode the alien messages, using the technology recovered from the fallen ships and the strange device discovered by Dr. Anya Patel. They began to understand the complex patterns. It was a language, but unlike any spoken or written by humans. It was a language of light and sound, weaving together in a way that spoke not just to the mind, but to the soul. Meanwhile, Mira and her group moved through the ruins of their city, helping those who were lost and scared. She carried the hope of many on her shoulders, and every night she looked up at the stars, wondering if peace was truly possible. On the other side of the world, young Leo was following the guidance of the glowing metal in his hand. The dreams it gave him led him to a hidden cave in the mountains, where ancient carvings told stories of a time when humans and travelers from the stars walked together. The cave walls shone with symbols that matched those found in the alien messages. The connection between Earth and the aliens was deeper than anyone had imagined. These were not just invaders. They were part of a story that stretched across time and space. As the Hellstorm continued to patrol the skies, it sent signals back to Earth, confirming new discoveries and sharing information. The ship's AI, designed to protect humanity, began to learn and adapt, finding ways to communicate with the alien fleet without conflict. One evening, as the sun set and the sky turned a brilliant orange, a message appeared on the global network. It was simple, yet powerful. A symbol of peace. The world paused. Could this be the start of something new? A future where humans and aliens could coexist, learn from each other, and build a stronger universe together? Commander Ray smiled for the first time in weeks. "This is just the beginning," she said. "We have faced the fire and now we are ready to walk through the light." The journey ahead was uncertain, but for the first time in a long while, hope was stronger than fear. And as the stars watched silently above, Earth prepared to write a new chapter, one where courage, unity, and understanding would guide the way. The world was changing faster than anyone expected. The message of peace that had appeared across every screen had sparked a new energy in humanity. People who had once been filled with fear and doubt now found themselves filled with hope and curiosity. The alien fleet remained at the edge of Earth's atmosphere, watching carefully, waiting for a sign of true understanding. Deep within the secret command centers, Commander Evelyn Ray and her team worked day and night. They pored over every piece of data, every signal, every pattern, searching for the key to unlock real communication. The ancient symbols found in the mountain cave, the strange glowing metal Leo had discovered, and the alien messages all connected like parts of a vast puzzle. Slowly, the pieces were coming together. Mira's group had grown too. From a small band of survivors, they had become a community of thousands, all united by the hope of a better future. They helped rebuild their city, turning ruins into homes and gathering places. Every day was a step toward healing. Leo, guided by the glowing metal, became a bridge between worlds. The metal responded to his touch, showing visions of places far beyond Earth, of worlds that had known peace and friendship between different beings. He knew the future depended on understanding these visions and sharing them with others. 1. Evening, as stars filled the sky, the hailstorm sent a signal unlike any before. It was a sequence of lights and sounds that mirrored the patterns from the ancient cave and the alien messages. This time, the signal was a question that reached deep into the heart of humanity. Commander Ray gathered her team. "We are standing at the edge of something new," she said. "They want to know if we are ready to join them to be part of a greater whole." The world held its breath. The question was not about weapons or war. It was about trust, friendship, and the possibility of a future together. Communities everywhere prepared. People shared stories, art and music inspired by the stars. Children learned about the ancient travelers and dreamed of journeys beyond their world. Mira looked up at the night sky, her heart full of hope. She thought about the battles fought, the lives lost, and the strength found in unity. The fire that had once brought destruction was now a light guiding humanity forward. Leo stepped forward with the glowing metal. He placed it in the center of a circle formed by people from all over Earth, connected by technology and spirit. The metal shone brighter than ever, sending waves of light that carried the message of peace to the stars. Far above, the alien fleet watched and listened. They saw not just a planet fighting for survival, but a world ready to open its heart. The journey was just beginning. Earth was no longer alone. And in that moment, the future stretched wide, filled with endless possibilities. The dawn broke softly over Earth, painting the skies with shades of pink and gold. For the first time in many months, the world felt quiet. But it was a quiet, full of promise, not fear. The message from the stars had been answered, and now humanity stood on the edge of a new beginning. In the command center, Commander Evelyn Ray watched the screens carefully. The alien fleet remained just beyond the atmosphere, but their ships moved with a different purpose. No longer distant and cold, they seemed to lean closer, curious and open. Scientists had decoded much of the language, revealing that the aliens were travelers from a distant part of the galaxy. They had come seeking not conquest, but connection. Their own worlds had faced trials, and they recognized the same spirit of resilience in humanity. The glowing metal that Leo carried became a symbol of unity, a key to communication that linked human technology and alien energy. It allowed for messages to flow between Earth and the fleet in ways no one had imagined possible. Across the planet, celebrations were quiet but deep. People from every culture, every background, shared stories and hopes. They built new schools, planted gardens, and created art inspired by the stars and their new neighbors. Mira stood with her community, looking up at the sky with wonder. The fear that had once filled their hearts was replaced with awe and excitement. She thought about the journey they had all taken, from the day the skies burned to this moment of peace. The Hellstorm, once a symbol of war, now carried explorers and diplomats. Its mission had changed from defense to discovery, seeking to understand the vast universe and the friendships waiting to be made. Commander Ray sent a final message to the alien fleet. It was simple, honest, and full of hope. "We are ready." Slowly, the fleet responded. Ships descended gently, landing in clearings far from cities, offering gifts of knowledge and technology that could heal the planet and expand human understanding. Children met alien beings with curiosity and kindness. Scientists exchanged ideas that could unlock new energy sources, medicines, and ways to travel the stars. The world was no longer divided by fear or anger, but united by a shared future. And in the silence between stars, a new story was written. One of friendship, hope, and endless possibilities. The journey had been long and difficult, but humanity had answered the call not with weapons or anger, but with open hearts and a desire to grow. The universe was vast, but Earth had found its place in it, shining brightly as a beacon of courage and hope for all.